pa ya ite be so tal chere o maladu ngum pahdene ka pa ya kon ntum de sotuma pa kam yiti be beti yene pa ngubya ay do vigu na do nuti be adene ba sin ya titan gbanwo mane ben tahre dobna ka tin yuhur ba titan gbanwo ka pa konko to zo den obdam pil pa abatan gbanwo nyen ni dir pa abayeto ama dob dene ha tin na ni jin gban ngo zo be zang tin na ko yi o ci otan gban ka kana pe kabzon wala kan yuho yan to zo ka pa konko nye sonma pa ba ni tin ba ya shel ngubra dob nu be dene ka pa ma konko do zo tin mela kontir gana za ban ye sonum yanma na yin ya ce ka nye sonum ni yanira kama tangban to die pa kurgun yuho anyuho na an film free an ce ko be obe sochi ne dama an address o yonu la obla ngubra ka bon ce ka en zoro to zu ai kun yuho na an ce ko su do ya ko be atangban ma an dir kanyura hala wo ka ba ka to ko di.
But how does it feel to have a relative accused of witchcraft? I caught up with a victim who agreed to speak on anonymity.
I teach a captain ni amanyela sonya kasonya yene vinye le muksapam kama ka akujia ka abja hopun karblan man yin mbala domi ai chante shin ai chen nirvane bandi ben liram na atem pan man bandi dir filache za bien fomi ami ay to akabbe kay to amanyin kutu ban so dozo de figasi pam dozo kan pam de mbipol tabyande kadama de tiche ka tichelala ben yaharman.
Belief in witchcraft is widespread across Ghana. However, in the northern region, there's very little tolerance for alleged witches. They are often tortured, killed, stigmatized, and banished into camps under appalling conditions and stripped of their fundamental rights. Accused persons sometimes end up in the camp with a grandchild, creating difficulties for the education of these children.
To a larger extent, some of these community members, especially their children, don't want to associate themselves much to these children because they believe that they cannot possess some of these. You know, you are an alleged witch granddaughter, so obviously you could possess some of these things. But you know, this is just a belief. So we have done a lot of Songtaba and actually have done a lot of community level sensitization, especially within this community, and that's why we supported them with this structure so they can accommodate some of them.
Ghanaians, irrespective of the ethnic or religious background, revered the dead, especially when they grow to the age of Mma Azara before death. However, even in death, victims of witchcraft accusations are denied the dignity of family burial. They are often left for the chief priest and community members to bury.
When the case of that sort happened, a woman who is abandoned and her parents doesn't make a follow-up, when she's sick, myself, the focal person, and the chief, I'll go and hint the chief, this is what is happening. Then the chief, and sometimes Songtaba and Action Aid will come in to support, take good care of her. Sometimes when there is that kind of death, okay, the chief will arrange for her burial and the performance of the funeral. And when the funeral is finished at our level, we will also end it there. When the family happen to come, fine. If they don't come, we are done.
Human rights advocates have called for the disbandment of the alleged witches' camps, citing the abuse of rights of victims.
Over the last 5 years, about 20 inmates have successfully been integrated into their communities, and Mma Adamu is one of such. She currently sells wasa-wasa in one of the schools here. I find out from her how life has been so far.
Yeto ashel kan so begang ma bengongo ha sambane so begang bengoma dina mo smanyela nungu na kala fi man nang ma bu ma dina mbop matiyai.
Many more inmates wish to return home. However, the fear of being attacked, stigmatized, and possibly killed keeps them from entertaining such thoughts. Ghana's Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection was set up to, among other things, address human rights violations and to protect women and children. How has the ministry performed its role?
We are trying to do something to the That is something that we discussed since this thing happened. Do something to the homes that exist. We call them the witch camp. And we're looking at why don't you rehabilitate that place and then, change that name, make it a recreational ground, make sure that the mothers who live there, those that are far from town, at least you can do something and make them very happy. Because you move outside this country, there are homes that elderly people are more elderly than ours. Nobody's called a witch, but they live there happily.
Ghana is signatory to various conventions on human rights and is mandated to protect these women. Is the country doing enough to protect these women? I find out from Shraj.
First, we try the sensitization, educating the people. Where we see that it is not, they are refusing to take the education, then we make the law come in. In this part of our country, now they make the accusation is one thing, then the people coming to report is another. The reintegration committee, I mentioned that we are in a second roadmap. This issue of litigation is something that we discussed last year, and we said this year we will make sure that those who are refusing that a particular accused person living in the camp will not be reintegrated, we'll consider the possibility of prosecuting them, taking them to court. Yes, through the Commission on Human Rights and of course legal aid.
As I leave Kukuo back to the comfort of my home in Tamale, my mind is not filled with only the thoughts of these forgotten women, but I am wondering who is going to be the next victim.
For Citi News, my name is Dinah Ngon from Kukuo in the Nanumba South District of the Northern Region.